Are we ready to begin?
Yes.
Good. Welcome to the virtual meeting of the full council meeting, Ramsgate Town Council, today, the 3rd of February 2021. I hope you've all got copies of the agenda on your tablets or you've hard copied it. Agenda item 1, apologies for absence. Have we got apologies for absence?
We do, Chairman. Councillor Wing and Councillor Knight.
Okay, if you could note that.
Thank you.
Can I ask members, if they're not speaking, to mute their tablets? Okay, thank you very much. Declarations of interest. Is there any declarations of interest? Well, that's resounding silence. I'll say no. Minutes of the previous meeting of the 4th of November 2020. I'll propose it from the chair. Is there a seconder?
Second that.
Well done, David. That's seconded by Councillor Green. Agenda item 4. Questions from the public. Have we received any questions from the public?
No, I haven't received anything.
Okie dokie, thank you very much. Agenda item 5 is the budget. Richard, is that you?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
It's simple enough. The budget was had gone through in some detail by the F&GP committee last week, and really what we're asking you to do is to accept the budget as a whole document. If there are any amendments, then I suggest that you accept the whole budget and then make any amendments to the budget wherever necessary. And leave it at that. If there are no amendments, then it just goes through on the nod. And the other thing we need to do then is to approve the precept, rather the amount and then the level of the precept, so we can pass it on to Thanet District Council.
Okay. Councillor Piper, Stuart.
Thank you, Chairman. I don't know whether there are any members of the public who are tuned in for this. Whilst I agree wholeheartedly with what the town clerk has just suggested, is it worth the major key points about the budget, such as the precept and so on, being voiced through just so that members of the public can hear it? Or perhaps Dean may be able to tell us if there is actually nobody logged on who's not a councillor or member of staff. Thank you.
I can advise the committee there's one member of public watching.
Okay, well, if you wish to voice an opinion on the precept and whatever issues, I suggest members can do that whilst we discuss this agenda item. There was an opportunity for members of the public to log on to the full discussions last week. It's not as though they haven't had an opportunity, they have. But I take on board what you say, Stuart, and we can do that. Right, do I have a proposer for the whole budget? Stuart, Councillor Piper, Stuart, is there a seconder? That's Councillor Hetherington. Right, you've seen the budget here, we discussed it last week. Are there any amendments you would wish to make? By that resounding silence, I assume no. We now have to discuss the precept. The precept will increase by 2%. I propose that from the chair. Is it seconded? Seconded by Councillor Alban. Does that satisfy your requirements, Town Clerk?
I think you best ask the Deputy Town Clerk, because she's the 151 officer. I think we have to say the amount, and then we have to say the actual precept Band D version.
Oh, right, then what's the precept Band D version, Deputy Town Clerk?
Yes.
Chairman, okay, Band D property Band D will go up to £80.64. It will raise a precept of £942,707.40. It has to be divisible by 9. That has been achieved. Total expenditure, predicted expenditure, is £942,625. So the precept is £82.40 above the predicted expenditure. And that is a 2% increase to Band D. So I just need you, it's been proposed and seconded, so that's absolutely fine, thank you.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
Chair.
Yes, hold on. Councillor Stuart Piper, then Councillor Green.
Thank you, Chairman. Whilst I'm very happy to, of course, second the budget as a whole, I'm doing so because it is a balanced budget. But in order to remain consistent, I did vote against the precept increase at FNGP. So that would be the reason why I couldn't support it this evening either.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Piper.
Thank you.
Well, can you note that, Deputy Town Clerk?
No.
Councillor Green.
It was just a comment, Chair, that luckily the precept is still below £1 million, which might have made the headlines.
Okay, fine. Well done. We move now on to anybody else wish to comment? We now move on to agenda item 6, review of documents for audit. Town Clerk.
Yes, I have been through all the documents. You had copies of them electronically,
Yeah.
which is standing orders, your financial regulations, various other bits and pieces. All the health and safety documents we've got, and our health and safety policy is about to be all looked at, oversigned, and any omissions that we've got amended, because with our new contractor, Ellis Whittams, are looking at that, and they are also going to look at all, as you know, the HR things as part of it, so we can show to the auditors that we've gone through all these things and that we're actually doing something about it. I may bring back something, like the standing orders, if there's a change required in the year, and therefore it will get reviewed again. But I basically have said I've read it, looked at it. I don't think there's any massive changes necessary.
Right. Members, any comments on the documents the Town Clerk's talking about? No? So we agree. What do we have to do? Do we note them?
Just note, yes, just say the note that the report from the Town
Right,
Clerk,
okay. They're noted.
and you're satisfied with what he's done.
Right, noted. Agreed, members? Agenda item 7, Ramsgate Fund and Event Fund applications. Deputy Town Clerk.
Thank you, Chairman. We'll start with the Ramsgate Fund. The budget is 35,000 and it's the current financial year. Maximum amount that may be applied for is 3,500. The balance remaining is 22,277.38. We have 4 applications. Application number 1 is from the Royal Navy Association Ramsgate Club. Projected expenditure is 17,320 and they're asking for 2,500. Basically, this is for new items for the bar area. A glass washer, bottle cooler double fronted, bottle cooler single fronted, and ice making machine. This is a broader project to update the club, which is used by the community, supporting the community. Council to decide, please. Thank you.
Okay, members, anybody wish to discuss, propose? Councillor Ara.
Yeah, may I propose that the full amount be granted to the RNA, please? Because yeah, I'm proposing it, yes.
You can. Do you know where this is?
Yes, I know where it is. I used it many times. It's next to the St. George's.
Sorry?
St. George's Church, Broad Street.
That's the one. Yes, it's up there. That's it. People get mixed up.
I'll second that, Chair. Councillor Ruchesky.
Councillor Zeki seconded it. Discussion,
Okay.
members? Councillor Green.
I assume this is not for profit, this club.
I've no idea. Deputy Town Clerk.
It's a members club, but anyone can actually join the club. and they do raise funds for the community. It is used on Remembrance Sunday, for example, by the mayoral party. Yeah, so it's they do state that they support the community with fundraising and things. I'm not sure about charges for using it. Sorry, I don't know.
I think we need to know if it's not for profit, Chair.
Right. Does anybody disagree with Councillor Green's proposal? No. So there's an agreement proposal on the table for 2,000, whatever it is.
500.
2,500, which has been seconded. All those in favour of granting that on the acceptance of a statement by the club that it's a non-profit making organisation. All those in favour, or what? All those opposing that, please state now. Then that's passed. So if you could organise and arrange to get a confirmation as to whether or not they're a profit making organisation. If they're not, 2,500.
Thank you, Chairman. I'll sort that out for you.
Deputy Town Clerk.
Thank you. The next application is from Mooch. Projected expenditure is 19,911. Grant request is 5,100. The maximum is 3,500, as I've said before. It's to Public Art Commission to produce a cultural programme with reference to the High Street Heritage Action Zone. The grant is to fund a pop-up shop in Ramsgate Town Centre that tells the story of HSHAZ, invites curiosity and participation and gets people excited again about their town centre. This is what's in there. I have had a look at this and there are a lot of non-capital items, so I've actually broken it down so that I can tell you more clearly. So for the print and design of window and shop display information, it's 1,660. For shop consumables such as COVID PPE is £100. Stationery and printing consumables £100, and plan framework materials is £40. That totals 1,900. The rest on the list is things like the rental of the shop, electricity and things like that, which are non-capital. Thank you. So in my opinion, 1,900 would be the amount to award if you chose to for capital items.
Thank you for that, Deputy Town Clerk. Well done. So the amount of monies we're discussing is £1,900, which fits into the rules of the actual Ramsgate Fund. Members, comments, discussion?
I'd like to support that.
Who's that?
I would support that, Chair. I'll propose the 1,900.
Right. Councillor Auburn's proposal.
I second it.
That's Councillor Ara. Could you say who you are? Because I can't see everybody.
Sorry, Councillor Ara, Chair. Sorry.
Councillor Ara is seconding. Discussion, members? Councillor Stuart Piper.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just think at the moment, being as it's still a work in progress, I think this is rather putting the cart before the horse. It's a bit too soon. I also read this week that the Arts in Ramsgate place is in danger of having to close in about 3 months' time for a number of reasons. Why don't they use that building if they're going to do something to encourage folks? And we also don't know what cut the footfall will be, because we're still in lockdown and likely to be for a couple of months yet. So
That's true.
I would not support this because I think it's too early.
Okay, so you're opposing it. Any other members wishing to discuss?
I agree with Councillor Piper. It's Councillor Rashevsky. Thank you.
Right, there's two against the proposal. Anybody else?
Can I come in on that, Chair?
I'm against the proposal.
Who? Councillor Auburn.
Councillor Alban, can I come in on that, Chair?
Yes.
Yeah, I just think this Mooch is a separate organisation. I suppose maybe they're affiliated to the arts thing that Councillor Piper's just said. But this is to be, I guess, in the High Street, and I think it's something that we need. And I fully support it, Chair. Thank you.
Okie dokie. I've got 2 members opposed. Is there anybody else opposed to this proposal of £1,900? Then that's passed. Thank you. Deputy Town Clerk.
Thank you, Chairman. Number 3 is Miss Ramsgate Organisation. Total projected expenditure is 3,000. Grant requested is 2,500. As you know, the court represents the town all over Kent, or they did up until last year when they couldn't do that. So what they're saying is, as the court did so little in 2020, they're going to stand again, and therefore they need to purchase clothing that they hadn't already purchased just before lockdown. So it's all clothing which is detailed in the application for the court, the remaining court, and also for the carnival float, if that is possible. We sort of very familiar with the lady who organises all this, and she has stated that they will refund any amount not spent from the award. So they're asking for 2,500 for the Miss Ramsgate Court. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Deputy Town Clerk. Members, discuss.
Chair,
Councillor Green.
did they return anything last year, Eileen?
No, they are actually in the red at the moment, because they had spent quite a lot of money before lockdown. So they are struggling at the moment, but no, they didn't refund anything, because they did make those purchases as detailed in the last application.
I propose to offer them £2,500 from the chair. Is there a seconder?
I'll second it, Councillor.
Councillor Ara seconded. Anybody wish to discuss this particular agenda item now?
Yes. Councillor Hetherington.
Councillor Hetherington.
I just think that this concept of beauty pageants and everything is somewhat old-fashioned. And, you know, I mean, I know we do this every year, but I mean, it's past its sell-by date in 2021, is my feeling.
That would be the case, Councillor Hetherington, if it was a beauty contest, which it isn't.
It's not.
They're not judged on their beauty. In actual fact, what they do is they promote the town throughout, normally the southeast of England and London. They promote the town for tourism, and they're extremely popular. I, like you, I'm wary of any sort of faux beauty contests, but believe me, when I was on the committee, they are the most popular event of any of the events that we have with other event holders. They always want the town queen and the court at their function.
I am aware of that, but I was just voicing that opinion.
That's very true. No, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, anyone wish to contribute?
Chair,
Yes, Councillor Green.
I think it does two things. As you say, they do promote the town all across Kent. Also, it gives at least 3 young ladies exposure to civic type events that they wouldn't otherwise have the chance to participate in. And I think it does those individuals quite a bit of good. So I would support it. But like you, and like Jane, I think it could do with modernisation.
Well, that's up to the actual runners of the event, I think. That could be a suggestion. Okay, members, anybody else wish to comment?
Councillor Nixie, just to reiterate what Councillor Green and Councillor Hetherington have said, I find the manner it's done slightly unappealing, but I do agree that it's a fantastic promotion, and I definitely agree with David in terms of helping 3 young people. I think it goes without saying, and that's worth its money alone. I'd like to see it updated, though. I'll be honest with you, but I would agree with giving them the money.
Okay. Right. So there's a proposal on the table for £2,500. It's been proposed and seconded. Members against, please. That's passed. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Finally, the last Ramsgate Fund application has come from Royal Harbour of Ramsgate 200. Projected expenditure is 7,500 and the grant requested is 3,500. As we know, Dominic Grant sadly passed away and had created a clay statue of George IV. So what they're asking for is help with the funding towards a rubber mould to be made of the statue, which means they will no longer have to try and preserve that clay statue. The statue is still in Arch 20, and he had spent 2 years working on it. Over to you. It's 3,500 towards the cost of a rubber mould for the statue. Thank you.
Okay, members. Discussion, please.
Yes, Councillor Rashevsky, I'd like to propose the full amount of £3,500, please, Chair.
Okay, is there a seconder?
I'll second it, Chair.
Who's I second it? Who is it?
Councillor Linda Piper.
Okay, Councillor Linda Piper is seconding it. Debate, members?
Chair,
Councillor Green?
we're already setting many thousands of pounds aside for the actual event itself. My feeling is that if that organisation chooses to spend some of that money in this direction, they're able to do so, and I wouldn't support it getting any more money.
Yeah.
Well, I think to be fair to them, I think they're two different events. One is this particular statue, of which lauds the actual namesake of the port, the harbour. The second one is the 2021, the 200th anniversary, is it? So they're two different events, really. But
No, they're both the same event.
Sorry?
They're both the same event, Chair.
Well,
it's all about the granting of the royal designation.
I think the statue is a separate event, a totally separate issue, Chair. I agree with you on that.
Yeah. Any other members wish to contribute? There's been a proposal for 3,500. It's been seconded. All those opposed to that, please show state. Councillor Green, Councillor Hetherington. Anybody else opposed?
I'd like to abstain on that, Councillor Nixie.
And Councillor Nixie abstains. So that's passed. Okay, thank you, Deputy Town Clerk.
Thank you. That's all for the Ramsgate Fund. Thank you, members.
Yeah.
We now move on to the Events Fund. We have an application come back from Active Ramsgate. The figure I gave you in my report was incorrect. What they're looking for is to via 10,000, up to 10,000 from the Events Fund, which was awarded to British kite surfing event for 2020, which obviously did not go ahead. The actual amount they need is £6,314 from that 10,000, if that's possible. It's for a website rewrite and upgrade at 2,780. Copywriting total of £1,300 and photography workshop of over 2 days for the new website and photo bank as well at £2,234. It totals £6,314 from that 10,000 if you wish to buy that over. Thank you.
How much is currently in the event fund?
The Events Fund currently has 24,150, but that's with that 10,000 taken off.
Sorry?
That's with the 10,000 allocated to kite surfing still taken off. So we can say, okay, Events Fund balance is 34,150.
Okay, so it's £34,150. Members, Councillor Green, you're the chair of that particular committee.
Yeah.
What would you like to discuss this issue?
Thank you, Chair. Council has already agreed to via the money in principle, subject to Active Ramsgate coming back with the details of how they wanted to spend the money including the people that they wanted to employ, the different parts of the job. They have now done that. So I would like to propose that we agree to VARing the amount requested.
I'll second that, Chair. How much is that? Is the request for 6,000?
314.
6314.
That's correct.
Members discuss. No? Okay. Yeah, Councillor Lily Piper.
I think that's a bit excessive. Could we not halve that and give them half of it?
Councillor Green, you're the chair of the... Don't forget, it's a Ramsgate Town Council initiative. Councillor Green.
Of course we could, but the various tasks were all put out to tender, and there are at least 3 shortlisted candidates for each of the tasks, and these were chosen on merit, knowing that the council had already agreed to VAR up to £10,000.
Okay. Anybody else wish to discuss this agenda item? It's been proposed, 6314, and seconded. All those opposed to this particular proposal? That passes unanimously. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairman. The final application to consider is from PAL Thanet. They've adapted their usual event to fit in with COVID. They're asking for £1,500 from the events fund, and the projected cost is £6,874.45. This is a regular annual Power of Women event, as we know. Yeah. So the application came in November. It was too late for Town Promotion Committee, hence I brought it here. The event will take place between the 27th of February and the 8th of March, and they will also extend their Fringe Festival to 3rd of May this year. The event has now been adapted due to COVID-19, with the details within an email that I gave with my report. Yeah. The event is Thanet-wide and will deliver 32 events online or outdoors, socially distanced if that's possible. Okay. And the makers market that they normally have will go online if restrictions are still in place. Thank you, Chairman.
Right, is there a proposer?
Yeah, I propose it. Councillor Ara.
And Councillor R seconding. Yeah. Members, do you wish to discuss this particular agenda item?
All in favour of Powerful Women, Chair?
No, I'm sure you are, David. Okay. Anybody opposed to this one? £500.
I'm opposed to it. Councillor Linda Piper.
Okay. Anybody else? That passes then. Thank you very much. That finishes the Ramsgate and Event Fund applications. Town Clerk's report. Town Clerk. Is he there? Richard?
Chairman, he doesn't appear to be there.
He's muted. He's muted.
I'm here.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. I'm here.
He's unmuted.
Yes, there is nothing that I wish to report at this time, but I understand there may well be a resolution, which it comes under this one.
Okay.
I think you have to ask Councillor Green.
Councillor Green.
Chair, I think
you have a resolution or something.
Yes, it's an emergency resolution, so I think we need first of all to suspend the relevant standing order.
Yeah. 10.1.17.
Suspend standing orders. Councillor Green.
The resolution is this. It's already been circulated to. We undertake to write to HSBC National Management to draw their attention to the consequences of their decision, both in deserting their customers not able to trek to Westwood Crafts or to use internet banking. And the impact on essential footfall in the town said too that we offer our support to a campaign to draw Ramsgate's public's attention to HSBC's withdrawal of support for its customers in the hope of withdrawal of their actions pending consultation regarding the future.
Okay. So you're supporting that then, are you, Councillor Green?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's self-evident what it's about, Chair.
I would second that, Chair. Councillor Alban.
Seconded by Councillor Alban. So the proposal is that the town clerk drafts a letter to HSBC along the lines that outlined by Councillor Green. Discussion, members.
Councillor Mason.
Councillor Mackinson.
Yeah, I think this is a comment really. I think it might be the thin end of the wedge. There was talk last year in the financial pages of loads of banks closing down or restricting their hours because the pandemic had proved that they could do this without inconveniencing their customers, which wasn't true. So I think we have to watch out for more banks.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion, members?
Which might be.
Councillor Piper, please, Chair.
Councillor Piper.
Could we just be absolutely clear? We would want to support in principle exactly what's going on and get the letter written, but is this going to involve a financial contribution to the campaign or not?
No.
Thank you.
There's nothing in the proposal for any financial contribution.
Thank you.
Right.
Chair, Councillor Jessica, I'd just like to support the fact that we oppose the closure of the HSBC. It is appalling that the big banks have pulled out. In Broadstairs, we have one building society left and that's it. And they don't do business banking. So it's pretty appalling.
Okay. Members, anybody opposed to this particular agenda item? Right. Unanimously agreed. Town Clerk, could you draft a letter and send it out to members for their comment and amendments if required?
I will do indeed, Chairman.
Okay. Any other agenda items? No. That's it. Thank you very much, members.